So let's try to talk about here why we are trying to go for the framework. First of all, understand what it means by framework. Anyone? So what it means by framework, sir? Please. Framework is a framework represent set of classes and interfaces to make a simplification development. You're using framework. Framework is a set of classes and interfaces to simplify application development. To simplify application development. Application development. So it represents set of classes and interfaces. Represent set of classes and interfaces. The framework, here we're having a different types of frameworks available in the market. One is persistent framework. Next, uh, okay, I'll come one by one. Web framework, then third one, enterprise framework, price framework. So now what is the web framework, guys? So structs, JSF, and Spring MVC, all these are frameworks to simplify web development. To develop the web application development, then we can try to use the web framework. Structs is a framework to simplify your application development. JSF is one framework to simplify your web application development. Spring MVC is a framework to simplify the web application development. So like this, we are having almost 200, 300 frameworks in the market, sir. According to the market, we try to use the framework and we try to work it. Now we are focused in the my session, Spring MVC. Persistent framework. So persistent framework, nothing but to simplify your database development. To JDBC, nobody is not using nowadays. So Hibernate is a very popular, Warren frameworks is a popular in the market. Persistent framework. So I can say Hibernate, IBETIS, and JPA. Like this, different types of frameworks are in the market. Enterprise framework, then Spring framework. Spring is a framework is to simplify your web development and distributed development. Even you can develop standard application development. So Spring is trying to making a development of your application. That's what we can try to call Spring is a enterprise. So Shiva, what it means by enterprise? Enterprise, it means that web develop, business enterprise, nothing but business, sir. Enterprise, nothing but business. Okay, that point is clear. Next. So I hope you understand what it means by framework, guys, please. Any question?
So JSF and sir.
Java server faces. Java server faces. Then we can try to call JSF. Is one of the framework to develop web application development is given by Sun Microsystem. Structs is given by Apache Software Foundation. Spring Framework is given by Interface 21. So like this, we can have a different frameworks available in the market, madam. I worked with Structs, madam. Structs మీద వర్క్ చేస్తాం మేము. JSF మీద వర్క్ చేస్తాం. ఇప్పుడు స్ప్రింగ్ MVC అండి. ట్రెండ్ మారిపోతుంది అన్నమాట. Sorry. So you can work at different frameworks because not required to learn every framework. What is it trendy? We can learn that framework and let's start. So are you have experience on frame structs? No, I work in like structs Spring MVC framework. That way I can try to give the answers. Got it? If you know the funda of servlets, you can work on any framework. Okay, are you clear now? I think.
Yes, sir.
Right. So framework, Java framework is the what is that? pre-written codes used by Java developers to develop Java application simply as a framework. Using a framework, we can develop the web and distributed application development to make your application simplify your application development. And framework it represent framework contains a set of classes and interfaces, set of classes and set of classes and interfaces. So Java frameworks are reusable. Reusable it means that once you design the framework, framework you can try to use and you can try to build your application, guys. Okay. Now, up to here is clear. The next point. So, what is ORM? I'm focusing now persistent framework like Hibernate. Next three sessions, 3, 4 sessions, right? Because ఇది ఏమైనా ఉపయోగపడుతుంది సార్ ప్రాజెక్ట్లో ఉపయోగపడదు. లెట్స్ ట్రై టు లెర్న్ ఇట్ అండ్ కీప్ ఇన్ యువర్ రిపాజిటరీ. ఇప్పుడు ఎందుకంటే మీ దాంట్లో ఇది వాడట్లేదు ప్రజెంట్ ప్రాజెక్ట్లో, కానీ దీనికోసం బేస్ చేసి నేర్చుకోకూడదు ఎప్పుడైనా సరే గుర్తుపెట్టుకోండి. లెర్నింగ్ అనేది వీ షుడ్ బి నో ద వైడ్లీ, దెన్ వాట్ యు రిక్వైర్డ్ వీ ట్రై టు లెర్న్ లేటర్. అర్థమైందమ్మా? ఇప్పుడు నాకు తెలిసి నేను ఎంత చెప్పడం వల్ల టైం వేస్ట్ అయింది, అంటే నాకు టైం అనేది ట్రాక్ అయింది. కానీ this is required for a market. I mean, every project, not like only one specific concept. Maybe can work with differently. If you know the fundamental perfectly, at least if you have an idea, then you can update the things and you can try to work it. Understand? Right. Now, let me try to work with ORM. So first of all, let me try to talk about what is ORM. What are the ORM frameworks are in the market? ORM frameworks. I told you just now. I guess a better word is ORM software. Anything is fine, sir. What is ORM first of all? Object relational mapping. Object relational mapping. IBDs. Top link. ADO. Then hybernate. EJB entity beans. Right. Now I can talk about hibernate. Even JPA. JPA is given by Sun Microsystem. Hibernate. So any ORM framework, object relational mapping software framework, can use and to develop persistent logic. Persistent nothing but storing a data in a database. Okay, persistent logic. ORM tool simplify the application development. So and now we are trying to using Hibernate is a framework in the application development. What is the use of Hibernate? So now next my question comes, what is Hibernate? Guys, please, what is Hibernate? I told you, what is JDBC? What I explained you, sir, please? Anyone? While I talking about JDBC, what I given the point? JDBC is using JDBC API can interact with the database software to perform the manipulations like insertion, right? The same point you can try to say here. What is Hibernate? Hibernate is a framework. It simplifies the development of Java application interacting with the database. It's an open source. Open source because we are prepared to use it. It's an open source, lightweight ORM tool. Are you understanding my point, please? Yes. What is Hibernate? Hibernate is using Hibernate can in Hibernate is a Hibernate using Hibernate framework can simplify the development of Java application to interact with the database software. Hybrid is a framework can simplify application development interacting with the database software. Hybrid is a framework simplify persistent logic. You can write anything, sir, to simplify the persistent logic. Persistent logic. Right. Otherwise, I can try to write like this. Hibernate is a framework. It simplifies the development of Java application to interact with the database software. We can perform manipulations like insertion, updation, deletion. These are the operations you can try to perform using Hibernate. Are you clear, everyone? Please. Yes. And one more point after that, Hibernate is a open source, lightweight open source framework. It means that anyone can use, anyone can try to implement. It's a lightweight and is a ORM tool, object relational mapping tool. Hybrid implement the specification of JPA for data. Hybrid is implement specification of JPA for data persistent. Hybrid implementing the specification of JPA, Java Persistent API. The specifications of JPA, the people is implemented. Now, next one. What is JPA? Java Persistent API. Java Persistence API. API. I can say JPA is a Java specification provide functionality and standard to ORM tools. So Java Persistent API, Java JPA is the specifications and is representing some set of classes and interfaces. These specifications are implemented ORM softwares. ORM software, I mean Hibernate and IBDs, everyone said. JPA is given by whom? Sun Microsystem. Java specification providing a functionality and standard to ORM tools. And using this ORM tools, that's what I told you. Hybrid is implemented JPA specification. If you want to get to this point, I will ignore it. So that's your wish. What is the advantage of Hibernate framework? Now, let me talk about advantages. What is the advantage, guys? Open source and lightweight. Open source framework, it means that Hibernate framework is an open source. Hibernate is an open source framework, and even it's a lightweight. What we are lightweight without without servers, you can try to work with Hibernate work application, guys. We not required any server when you are trying to working with Hibernate. Without Hibernate, like JDBC is required any server to run it? Not required. The same way, lightweight, it means that we are not required to add any external servers and jobs to work this Hibernate application. So next one, database independence. One more important point is database independence, sir, is a very important point. What is database independent query? Sir, one thing. Here Hibernate works like a Hibernate queries are database independent. Database independent means that based on your database software, the queries will be generated. We are not required to worry about it. These Hibernate queries are Hibernate framework level. We never write a queries dependent. We write a query is always independent. We write a query is always independent. So we can try to say Hibernate framework, the queries are database independent. Sure, can you make a simplify this word? Yes, I will. This is the major difference between JDBC and Hibernate. So when you are trying to writing a query, the query is database dependent. But here Hibernate level, database independent. The queries are database independent, guys. Database independent. Because the queries are designed using a Java statement. I'll show you the practically, sir. The queries are designed. Queries are designed database independent. That queries are designed using Java statement. Java statements. Yes, I'll show you then. Right. Queries are designed using a Java statements. Good. Next. So even hybrid framework is trying to using hybrid framework, we can design. We can hybrid supports transaction. Hybrid supports aggregations, relationships, relationships and aggregations and all those things. Hybrid will be support. No doubt about it. What is the next one? And it's simplifying complex joint it simplifies the joint concept. And one more thing is hybrid supports connection pooling, inbuilt connection pooling support. It will be provided. What is these things? We'll see elaborately, guys. What are the points I'm highlighting? We'll see every point elaborately with practical. If you're seeing the practical, then you understand, sir. The evening time I'll design the application. So these are the futures providing by working with Hibernate. So now the first question, what is Hibernate? I hope you understand what is framework. Anyone is clear? Everyone's clear? Next, what are the different type of frameworks available in the market? I told you. What are the RM softwares? What is the Hibernate? Okay. If you know these points, that's enough.